Hey, what's up, everybody? Man, I am so excited to share. I've been talking about this concept ever since I started coaching. This is one of the actual first concepts that I started preaching, to be honest with you. And it is this superpower that new agents have. So if you're a new agent and you feel like, well, I don't have a following and I've never sold anything, and why would anyone want to do business with me? That's what I want to talk about. And it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing for older agents. Um, Older agents, okay, so newer agents come in and they're like, well, I haven't sold anything and I don't have any experience. And there's all these other more experienced agents out here crushing it. Why would anyone choose me? And on the flip side, what's so interesting about that perspective is that on the flip side, the older agents are out here talking about, well, like, I'm old, I'm not tech savvy. These younger guys are so much quicker and understand, all the new CRMs and AI and all this stuff. Why would anyone want to hire me? Even though the older agent has all this experience and all these deals under their belt. It's so interesting. And so then you have two different perspectives here, like inexperienced agent saying nobody wants me because I'm inexperienced, and then you have the older agent saying no one wants me because I'm not young, or I'm not on TikTok, or whatever the case may be. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is the perspective around using your superpower that you do have, because you can actually, who's right there? Who's right? Okay, the older agent says nobody wants me because I'm too old. The younger agent says nobody wants me because I'm too young. Well, who's right? And the problem is that they're both wrong. That's the punchline. They're both any agent that says that, they're looking at this from the wrong perspective. There's always two sides to the coin. There's not a one-sided coin. There's not a one-sided anything. There's two sides to this book. There's two sides to this phone, two sides to every single thing out there. And so if there's two sides to everything, and there's two perspectives to every situation, then why are you looking at the one side of the perspective that doesn't serve you at the highest level? What you have to understand is that there are enough clients out there for every single. Do you realize that there are thousands and even tens of thousands of people, customers in your market, who will be lifelong, that would love to do business with you, that would be lifelong loyal clients to you if they only knew who you were? And the cool thing is that's available to each and every one of you. It's 1,000,000% unlimited. So it's like this: if someone doesn't want to work with you because you're younger or new or whatever, that's fine. Like, that's not your people. But guess what? The next customer loves you because you are new and young, or loves you because you are old and experienced, whatever the case may be. Not everyone's going to be a great fit for everyone. So anyway, I got a storm cracking outside, man. This thing, it is literally raining cats and dogs. So I hope my internet keeps up for this. Stick with me to the end. I'm going to give away a couple of signed copies of my newest book here, Beyond Listings: How One Question Transforms Prospects into Lifelong Clients and Doubles Your Closing Rate. I'm going to give a couple of these away at the end. And also, as soon as I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to flip right over to Instagram Live and do some Q&A on Instagram Live. So stay tuned and switch over to Instagram and get some signed copies of the book and all that good stuff. But let's dive right up in here. I made some slides for this one, just like I did last week. And if last week you came in and you watched the fatal mistake that agents make that keep them stuck at 6 deals while other agents close 60, if you came into that one and you thought, man, that was really good, that was hype, just know that I'm bringing this same energy every single week for a while. I literally have the next 3 or 4 months planned out to give you guys the best advice moving into 2026. We already need to be thinking about 2026 right now. It's coming in quick. Let's dive right in. The one superpower new agents have that top producers can never get back. It's the invisible advantage that makes you more dangerous than any mega agent in the market. Okay. And the agent who recognizes and leverages this, they become legendary. And I recognized it pretty early on. It took me a second to realize I was sitting there and I was like, man, like all these people are passing me by and going and actually picking the more experienced agents. That's what happened to me for the first year. I had a lot of, like, I would talk to clients and like prospects. I would talk to them and I would think, okay, you know, like something's going to happen here. Next thing I know, they're listed with another agent, more experienced agent. And I'll give you a little like pro tip right here. Whenever that happens, what you want to do is call the prospect or call the agent or call both and say, hey, you know, like if you call the seller and say, hey, I saw you listed it, like, congratulations. I'm going to do everything I can do to help you sell it just for my like education and for the sake of me just becoming the very best agent I can be. Just wondering why you picked the other agent. No animosity, not upset with you at all. Like, I'm happy for you and I'm going to do everything I can do to help sell that property and bring you a buyer, but just so that I can continue to become better at my craft. Why did you pick the other agent over me? Just so I can know what I need to do to get better. And what you're going to find 9 times out of 10, it was nothing that you did wrong. It was something that was totally out of your control. And now what you can do with that information is you can, number one, realize, okay, it wasn't your listing presentation. It wasn't your, you know, what you said. It wasn't your attitude. It wasn't like how you dressed or any of that stuff that you might assume if you didn't ask. The problem is you assume why you didn't get the listing. So then you work on things that weren't even the problem. No. Go and ask the prospect why they picked the other agent so that you know for a fact what it was, so you can work on the right thing and realize that the thing that you assumed was the problem isn't even the problem and that you're crushing it in that area. Another thing you could do is actually reach out to the listing agent, and I did that several times. And it's like, hey, I was talking to that seller for a while, like, happy you got the listing, but just so I can continue to become, you know, better at being an agent. How did you get the listing? Like, how did that happen? I've been talking to him for like 3 or 4 months. I remember having that conversation many times. So just a little tidbit there for you. All right, let's get right back into it. Like, the agents that tap into this, you're going to become legendary. So the first year I had that happen. And then I realized, wait a minute, because I looked at what the top producers were doing. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I'm about to crush each and every one of these agents. And I want you to do the same thing. That's why I'm doing this video for you today. The current reality as a new agent, you might feel defeated. You got a lack of name recognition in the market. Hadn't been doing it a while. No established reputation to leverage. People don't know your brand. They don't know your services because you haven't done anything yet. A few past clients, maybe no past clients to generate referrals. That's the name of the game, by the way. We want to build up such a name and a book of business that past clients, referrals, and referrals of referrals just flow like water to us. You got limited social proof of your abilities. Just hadn't been in the game long enough. Okay. How can I turn this into my advantage? So you're the underdog. Okay. What's your ultimate weapon, right? So think about this. Okay. Top producers are spread thin. They give clients 15 minutes of attention between juggling 47 other deals. Think about that for a second. Now both positions are great to be in. I wouldn't mind being a brand new agent with all the time in the world to help all, you know, to go all in with my clients. I also wouldn't mind being a top producer spread incredibly thin who understands how to get deals done quick, how to get deals done efficiently. Okay. It's good to be in both positions, right? The point today is that every position, every stage of your business is a good position to be in. The point of today's training is for you to look at your situation and realize the massive opportunity because of where you are. instead of looking at it and saying, oh, I'm not here yet, so I have a huge disadvantage. No, you have a massive advantage. Okay. The second thing, like, what's your ultimate weapon? Name recognition equals client service. Mega agents are too busy. They can't remember half their clients' names. And I know that for a fact. Like, all these things are facts. Like, I did good to, like, like my close clients. Sure. Like, I'd see names coming in on the caller ID and I kind of remember, but like when I'm juggling 100 potential deals at any given time, it's hard to give people like the best experience, to be honest with you. And I'll drop another truth bomb on you. There were a couple of deals. I remember a couple of deals that just went south in terms of like the client experience and like the client saying, you know what, Ricky, I'm just being honest with you guys. There was a couple of deals where the client was like, man, you did good on the first 5 deals, but this last deal was just a nightmare. And it was because I had too many deals popping and some things fell through the crack, which made the client experience not so great. Guess what that client did? Never used me again and probably went to go use a less busier agent. Yeah. The third thing is you can go deep. You can spend 3 hours researching the perfect comp for one client while the top producers, they're rushing through appointments. So not competing against the number one agent in your market. You're not competing against the number one agent in the market. You're competing against their burnout, overwhelmed version who hasn't had time to study the market in months. That's another thing. Like, as a newer agent, you have time to research the market and like be on the cutting edge. Yes, the top producers are in there showing a lot of property, getting feedback from clients. They actually get a different version of the market research. Like, they're hearing it like word of mouth through the buyers and sellers they're dealing with on a daily basis. But I remember when I was coming up, I would research MLS for 15 minutes every single day, like clockwork, every single morning. And I was so on top of the market. I was so knowledgeable of the market. And that's what I suggest for every single one of you, to make sure you're studying MLS, the hot sheet, the new listings, expireds, closings, etc., every single day. But as I grew and got to 50 plus deals, I remember like I didn't have time to do that in the mornings anymore. And my market knowledge was not what it was when I was coming up. Okay. What you have that they lost, what you've got that they lost once their business got to a certain point: deep focus, unlimited capacity to concentrate on each opportunity without distractions, energy, enthusiasm to chase down every lead. They can't chase down every lead. They got to pick and choose the leads that they want, hoping that they made a good bet on the ones that they chase, and that the ones they didn't chase weren't as great as they assumed that they might be. Okay. Fresh perspective, ability to spot market trends. Okay. Top producers, a lot of times too busy to really like manage the different trends. They're kind of caught up in their systems and kind of what they've built. It's a good place to be. It's a great place to be, but I want you to understand what your advantage is. The mental bandwidth, capacity to genuinely care about outcomes rather than just closing deals. We talk about that all the time. So the resource they can never buy back is time. Pure, undivided, focused time is the one resource that successful agents lose as they scale. And it's the one thing they wish they pay anything. Like, they pay anything to get it back. It is true. Like, once you get to a certain point, you kind of have built this thing where you're like, oh, this is what I wanted. I wanted $1 million business, but okay, I'm in very high demand now. I'm in very high demand. It's what you wanted. It's what you built up. It's where we wanted to be. But now time is an issue. Guess what? When you're not there yet, that's what you got on your side. Okay. The math that changes everything. Okay. Agent A, a focused newcomer, 5 clients, 10 focused hours per client, 50 total hours of concierge level service, creates raving fans who refer everyone they know. Okay. Agent B, scattered veteran, 50 clients, 1 hour per client, 50 total hours, same amount of hours, creates transactions, not so much relationships. And what the top producers do is they learn how to efficiently handle these deals and spread themselves out to where they do give their clients the warm and fuzzies, but nothing like it was in the beginning. Okay, again, I would take either business, but it's not like I would say, okay, well, I only want the veterans business. No. Especially if I am a newcomer, or if I'm just if I'm just like, if no one knows who I am, if I'm just an agent, maybe I've been in the business for a while and I've done some deals and I'm not necessarily new. This doesn't necessarily go for just new agents. I'm explaining to you guys like the process of your career, the cycle of your career, the different things you're going to run into. Okay. Why busy top producers actually fail their clients. And I'm telling you, this was me. Market blindness, no bandwidth to research market shifts that could save clients thousands. You're on top of it, kinda. Consultation rushing. And this is also true. I was thinking about my next appointment, literally had back-to-back appointments. So like if I put an hour aside for a listing appointment and they were like still talking and I wanted to like make them realize like I am your family, well, I had to be like, you know what? I got another appointment. I got to roll. And that was a line that I used a lot. Got another appointment, got to go. And I kind of cut some stuff short that I didn't really want to, right? Strategy shortcuts. Can't spend hours crafting the perfect strategy for each unique home. Turns into a cookie cutter process. Follow-up failures. Too scattered sometimes. With the follow-up failures, it's like I have to pick and choose which leads, and top producers become really great at deciding which leads they're going to go after. I call it becoming a deal prognostic, being able to ask enough questions up front to realize what the probability of this deal happening is, and not only happening, but happening with me as the agent. And I kind of knew which deals to chase and not to chase. You become great at that. However, when you get to that point, you can't follow up with everyone. And so you have things fall through the cracks. Not when you're a newer agent. You're literally like, you're taking advantage and going all the way with every single client. The perfect it, then scale it philosophy. Your luxury of obsession. And you got to be obsessed. Test 5 different marketing approaches for one listing. Boom. Personally call 50 contacts instead of mass mailing postcards. Do both. Attend every networking event in your area. Something I did when I was a newer agent. Didn't do it towards the end of my career. Deeply analyze every comparable property in your area. Did that as a newer agent. Okay. Success isn't about working harder. It's about having the bandwidth to work smarter while you still can. Because once you get up to 30 deals, once I hit 30 active listings, I had to hire an assistant. I couldn't breathe anymore. I hired the assistant. I still couldn't breathe. It took that off of me to where I could continue to build build the business. But man, like once you get to that point, and it's a good place to be, you want to get there. I'm not saying that you don't want to be there. I'm saying, guys, you have a huge advantage right now if you're in the position where you have no deals under your belt, if you've got 10 deals under your belt. I'm going to tell you right now, when I just had a DM. I just had a DM from an agent this morning. Like, a seller asked me how many deals I did, and I froze up. And then I started talking about the team success. And I said, well, how many deals have you done? And she was like, I think she said 5 or 6. I said, what's wrong with telling them that? And I got to where when a seller asked me how many deals that I did, I would look them right in the eye and I would say, and I'm telling you, this is before I did a single deal. I would look them right in the eye and I said, none. That's exactly why you want to work with me. And they were like, huh? I said, yeah, because I'm going to spend every single waking hour on just your deal. Think about it. And I said, if you want Mr. 100 deal a year, there was an agent, I'm not going to say his name. There was an agent and I was like, let's just say his name's Ricky. It's not his name. And I said, if you want Mr. 100 deal a year, Ricky, down the road, go down there, walk in his office, and ask him where your deal is going to be on his priority list. I guarantee you it's not going to be number one. I guarantee you that agent's not going to spend every waking hour on just your deal like I am. So if you want Mr. Hard-working agent right here, the hardest working agent that's going to go all out, spend every single waking hour on just your deal, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. I've got the expertise of my broker and this, that to, if I've got any questions, I'm going to make sure this thing goes incredibly smooth for you. If you don't want that and you want somebody who's pumping out 10 deals a month, who's not going to make your deal a priority, but you just want the experience, then I'm not your guy. And guess what? It's okay either way. I'm not looking for a yes. Guys, I'm not in the market looking for yeses. I'm in the market looking for decisions. Tell me yes or tell me no. I don't care which one it is, but let me know so that I can move on either way. You tell me yes, I'm going all in on you. You tell me no, I'm going all in on the next person. It doesn't matter to me because business is unlimited forever for each and every single agent in the world, top flight security of the world. So I'm going to continue on regardless. My career is not predicated on one client. I get messages from agents who are like, I had a deal fall through. I'm gonna, like, my life is over. Literally they say that. And I'm like, if you're gonna be this top mega agent and do 1,000 deals over the next 10, 20 years, then how is one deal falling through like literally the make it or break it? Guess what, guys? Newsflash. It's not. It's not the make it or break it. And I'll drop another one on you. I closed 1,000 deals as a single agent in my career. I guarantee you I lost or had more. I guarantee 100%, million%, had probably 3,000 deals fall through, or I lost them, or whatever the case may be. You're going to lose like 3 times as many deals as close. So if you're going to be a super top producer like you say you are, then guess what? Get ready. Get used to deals falling through. All right. Back to the slides. Okay, the Grand Slam offer framework. Move this around so I can see it. All right. Powered by your secret weapon, time. Research. You got time to deep dive into what clients really want, not what you think they want. That's the problem with a lot of agents. They walk into listing appointments. You know why most listing presentations don't work out? Because the agent walks in and the listing presentation is all about the agent. Here's what we did. Here's what we sold. Here's what we're going to do. Here's all the marketing we're going to do. Here's past client experiences and all this stuff. And guess what? Wasn't nothing in the listing presentation about the actual prospect sitting right in front of them. So I want you to write that down. Deep dive into what the clients really want, not what you think they want. Problem identification. Hours spent understanding every obstacle and challenge your client faces. You know the way that I quantify value? When I'm talking to a prospect and I get them to open up to tell me every little thing that they want to do and why, their whole plan and everything, and I keep asking questions and I go deeper and deeper and deeper and understand everything they want to do. And then I start asking them questions about, well, have you thought about this? And what are you going to do if that? And what I'm doing is I'm pointing out potential problems and potholes that they're going to face on their journey of their plans of what they're trying to do that they haven't even thought about yet. So I'm giving them value through helping them avoid these potential future problems they're going to run into because of my professionalism, because of my expertise, because of my experience with doing this so many times. I'm able to actually spot these potential problems for them and help them understand that they should be thinking about this because of that. And they're like, wow, that's real value. Understanding their every obstacle and challenge that your client may face. Solution creation, time to brainstorm and test creative approaches tailored to each situation. Okay. When I do a listing presentation, I don't have a presentation. I'm talking to them about their problem, right? What they want to do and why, the problems they're going to face, the solutions that I have tailored around their situation. And then I'm saying, okay, we've covered everything based on everything that you've told me that you want to do. Here's what the process looks like. Here's the entire from top to bottom, start to finish process. And here is the next step. Are you ready to move forward? That's how you close the deal. Perfect execution, right? You've got the bandwidth as a newer agent, like less busy agent. You've got the bandwidth to deliver flawlessly on every promise you make to clients. Ooh, I used to love them days, baby. Love them days. Follow-up mastery, capacity to nurture relationships long after the transaction closes. You remember, for the top producers watching, you remember the days when you actually called everybody in your database? I remember those days. I called everybody in my database. I was like, it was like 150 people in my database total. I remember them days. I'd call them all. How you doing? You getting the email? How's the family? I remember them days, and them days were short-lived. When my database got up to about 350, I had to like cut out my top 100 people, and then when I got to 500, it was like, okay, I got my top 100. Once I got past 500, I never called my database. I never had time. I was too busy servicing, closing deals, listing appointments, closings, showing properties, negotiating deals, writing offers, researching stuff for clients. Like, you don't have time. I remember them days. Those were beautiful days. What your time advantage enables you to do: market expertise, right? Couple hours every day studying the hyperlocal market trends, right? Versus that, the 10 minutes weekly. Client service available for 3 p.m. panic calls versus the top producers. Most people just get their voicemail and they get a call back the next day. You can answer your phone today. Think about the advantage there. Like, use that in your listing presentation. Look, I got 2 listings. If something happens on your deal, I'm going to be right on it right then. Relationship building, personal coffee meetings versus top producers, automatic text blasts to their 100 clients. By the way, that's good. Like go have some coffee with your clients. Okay. So check this out. This is how top producers lost their superpower. Okay. In stage 1, you got 5 to 10 clients. It's still manageable, high touch service possible, deep market knowledge. Okay. And your competition in phase 1 is you. You're your only competition. You just need to get off the couch. You just need to get busy. You need to be disciplined. You need to create a routine that's the exact same routine every single day. I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat breakfast and take a shower. I'm going to be researching the market at 8 o'clock. I'm going to figure out who I'm going to call at 8:30. I'm going to start making calls at 9 o'clock. From 9 to 12, I'm making calls. 12 o'clock, I do lunch. 1 o'clock, I'm going to do some handwritten letters and do some social media. 3 o'clock, I'm going to do my appointment. Whatever. You are your only competition at level 1. Level 2, we got more clients. We got 15 to 25 clients. We're starting to juggle a little bit. Some details start to slip here and there. Shortcuts emerging. It's okay place to be. We're going to learn how to handle this. We're going to learn how to manage this. Okay, we want to get there, but there's no disadvantage to being at level 1. At level 2, your competition is not yourself anymore. You beat yourself. Now your competition is, guess what? Friends and family who don't believe that you can actually, they see you succeeding a little bit. And they're like, yeah, you trying, but you ain't gonna be. You're not him. You're not gonna be the one. You're not gonna make it to the top. No. And so your competition is friends and family at level 2. They see you being a little successful, and they think, you're starting to look like you might be a little more successful than me. I need to start talking smack about you. Try to bring you back down to reality, big boy. Level 3, you got 30 to 50 clients. You're growing. Survival mode, systems replace personal attention here and there. Reactive instead of proactive, right? You're reacting to things. You're not proactive. You're starting to lose it a little bit, lose control, let's just say. And your competition at level 3 is other agents. Other agents is your competition at that point. It's not you anymore. You defeated that. It's not friends and family anymore. You moved right past that and showed them, yeah, I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to make it to the top. Now your competition's other agents, because you actually have a book of business and you've got some inventory and you're showing some properties, and now other agents become your competition. Level 4, you got 50 plus clients, right? And you somewhat become more transactional. Okay, in the beginning, it's more relational. You become a little transactional. You're trying to hang on to the relational side, but by nature, you become a tad more transactional, right? You've got you start to manage you got to bring on an assistant. Maybe you bring on a few team members, right? The personal touch kind of starts to lose a little bit because you got your assistant talking to clients. You got other team members talking to clients. And now your competition is you managing people. Because even if you stay a single agent like I stayed, and you hire one assistant like I did, you're still managing that assistant. And now you've got to make sure you pick the right person. You've got to make sure that they're doing everything the way that it needs to be done. You've got to make sure that you're delegating the things that you need to delegate to open you up to be able to actually continue to scale the business. So now your competition kind of comes back to you in terms of being able to manage the people. If you hire a buyer's agent, whatever you do there. Okay. So then we move into stage 5, being like the top dog, number 1 in your market, mega producer. We got 100 plus clients. Now we become the CEO. We're completely removed a lot of times from the day-to-day. We've got systems in place, etc., etc. And now your competition at that point is the market itself. The market swings, right? So when you're small, the market, let me tell you guys, the market does not affect you whatsoever. You know what's so interesting is agents, like over the past few years, how the market really, it really got crushed. I mean, we're down literally like 30 to 30-year lows in terms of home sales. I know agents who have doubled, tripled, quadrupled their business. How did they do that? How did they double their business, quadruple their business in like the worst year in 30 years in terms of home sales? It's because they were at 4 deals and they went to 16 deals, right? It does, like when you're small, the market swings don't matter at all. If you're big, the market swings do matter. If you're doing 100 plus deals and the market drops 20%, you're probably going to do 80 deals. You've kind of maxed out what you can do, your capacity. When you're small, you haven't maxed out your capacity yet. So the market doesn't matter, if that makes sense. So I want you to think about that. This is another huge advantage that you have over the top producers, is that the market literally does not matter. You're not in competition with the market. When you're small, the only competition is you. Once you start to succeed a little bit, your friends and family are going to start talking smack. They're your competition now. Once you break through that barrier and you grow your business a little more, now you got other agents in your way. Boop, let's move them right out of the way and move right over to expanding our business and hiring an assistant, maybe a couple of agents on our team. And then we kind of continue growing to where we get to the point where, okay, now the market does have something to do with the fluctuation. It can't take you out, but it can fluctuate your business not only down, but up. And that's the big thing I want you to know right now. The surge that we will experience over the next 6 to 18 to 24 to 36 months, whenever this happens, it's going to be like an atomic bomb just completely hit the housing market. And if you've been putting in the work right now up to the point that that bomb explodes and buyers are just everywhere buying everything, your business is going to 10x, not 5x, not 2x, not 3x, X. If you go all in right now to continue to build your name in the market, you can't lay down right now. The market could be responsible for such an upswing for you guys that are smaller right now. You've got such an advantage, such an advantage. Okay, let me get back to the slides. So that's the stages of the top producers, how they lost their superpower and what it looks like for you moving forward. So when you visualize this, when you can actually see this and I map it out for you like this, it kind of becomes like, okay, I get it. I get where I am in the process. I get what I need to do to get to the next level. That's the purpose of this. Okay. They traded away deep market knowledge for surface level familiarity. And that's what happens when they're getting everything just from like less time researching. Most of their feedback comes directly from clients, personal relationships for systematic processes, quality control for quantity metrics. Think about that. Quality control for quantity metrics. Now it flips from quality, right? In the beginning, it's quality. Now it's more quantity based. Innovation time for crisis management. Strategic thinking for reactive firefighting. Specialized expertise for general knowledge. The superpower disappears slowly, then all at once. Most agents waste it chasing quantity over quality. So most agents that are small, they're chasing quantity, instead of realizing that at this stage of their business, the Bible verse, if you can be trusted with very little, you can be trusted with very much. In Luke, if you can be trusted with very little, then you could be trusted with very much. That's telling us that, okay, I'm small right now, but I need to be trusted with the few clients that I have and the opportunity that I have. And if I can be trusted with the few clients that I have right now, then I can be trusted with a lot of clients. Don't chase quantity over quality. Okay, you want to get clients, you want to continue to grow, but don't only focus on quantity, especially in the beginning. Okay. The trap they can't escape. Too successful to slow down, right? Clients expect immediate availability and responsiveness. Too successful to slow down. Too committed to change. They got locked in systems. The top producers have locked in systems that worked when they were smaller, but limit growth. Like it worked back then. They're still doing it. They're scared to let go because it got them where they are. Now it limits their growth from where they are. They're too busy to really improve on it. Like, I don't have enough bandwidth for like learning new skills or market education. I'm just going to like keep pounding what I'm doing right here. Newer agents, less busy agents do have that bandwidth. And so you can learn all the new cutting edge stuff, the AI stuff, the new CRM stuff, social media trends. They're too scattered to specialize. So then they just become like mediocre at everything. Like they're closing a lot of deals, mind you, making a lot of money, not a bad place to be. However, I'm just pointing out and trying to help you realize you got a massive advantage if you'll realize it and act on it. I said in the beginning, the agents who recognize and leverage this become legendary. The tactical implementation. Okay, weaponize your advantage. Become the market expert. Study every sale, listing, and trend in your area. Visit every open house in your target neighborhoods. Like, go look at the listings. Call the listing agent. Say, hey, I want to go preview that house in a neighborhood that you want to start calling in or farming in or running social ads in. Like, go look at the listings. Know the property values. Perfect your craft. Practice scripts, objection handling. Role play, difficult conversations, master contract details other agents miss. Obsess over client experience, be available when other agents aren't. Evenings, weekends, craft personalized property tours, create custom marketing for each listing. Build deep relationships, handwritten notes when others send text. Remember personal details about clients, follow up consistently when others disappear. The rule of deep focus. Okay. Real estate vision. Okay. I want you to choose one of these and go deep daily. Choose one each day and go deep. Okay. Market mastery. Study every listing sale, like zoning change, like new developments, until you know more than agents with 10 years experience, which, by the way, only takes a couple of weeks. If you really like look at it every day, it doesn't take long to become literally the local market expert. Okay. Skill development. Learn, practice, improve negotiation, marketing, sales skills while you have bandwidth to implement properly. Okay. Before you get too busy, let's develop the skills so that when you get too busy, you have the skills. Client obsession. Spend a couple extra hours ensuring perfect experience, anticipating needs before clients even know they have them. Relationship building. Create personal connections that busy agents can't maintain, becoming unforgettable to everyone you meet. We talk about this all the time. Okay. You, the focused agent, 3-hour home tour with detailed neighborhood insights, custom comparable analysis for each property, available to answer questions all hours. Remember clients' children's names and interests. Okay. Them, the volume agent, 30-minute rush showings in between appointments. I remember that. I remember those days. Generic CRM pulled from MLS template. Honestly, like you guys know my listing presentation, I don't even take comps. Calls returned 24 hours later. Needs to be reminded of client details repeatedly. The reality check. Here's the reality check. This advantage that you guys have has an expiration date. Okay. It has an expiration date. Use this while you have it. Quality over quantity. Success isn't about working harder. It's about having the bandwidth to work smarter. Secret envy. Every top producer wishes they could trade places with your current position. Yes. Once you get there, you kind of realize what it is. And you're like, oh, okay, if I had it all to do over again. And not only that, once you get there, that's like 5 to 10 years out. If I took my $1 million business when I hit $1 million and I could like turn around and use like today, because think about this. RedX wasn't available. I had to look up people's phone numbers on White Pages, Spokio, Bigfoot.com one at a time. It was really bad data, no cell numbers, no emails. And I had to call them, like hand dial every single one of them. Man, what I would not give to be a new agent now, starting all over in a market with social media at the place that it's at, with triple line dialers and the data that is in the palm of my hands for pennies. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Like I incredibly envy you new agents. Honestly. Future dominance. The agents who maximize this advantage early in their careers will dominate their markets later. Once it's gone, once this superpower is gone, you can't get it back. Agents who recognize it and leverage it become what? Legendary. Okay, here's your action items. Identify your time advantage. Write down your unique advantage compared to top producers in your area. Think about what you have and what you can do with your time that they can't do. Create your focus plan. Choose one area, market mastery, client service, skill development to obsess over the next 30 days. Develop your service model. Design a client experience so thorough that no busy agent could possibly replace it. Think about that. If you create a client experience that's so thorough and you go through that with them, like here's like one, and again, once you get to that point in the conversation, like understanding why they want to do what they're trying to do, why they're trying to do it, right? And you understand, and you've went so deep with that, you understand their situation more than they do. And then you can turn around and say, great, based on all that, here's what the process looks like. And by the way, here's what I do. Like you got to use it at the right time. Perfect your first 20. Okay. That means commit to treating your first 20 clients like they're your only 20 clients forever. Like it's going to be the only 20 clients you ever get in your entire life. Your first 20 clients, treat them like they're going to be the only clients you will ever get in your entire career. The big advantage formula, attention, 100%. Undivided focus on each client's unique situation. 10x your knowledge depth. More detailed market knowledge than the spread thin competitors. 3x response rate, right? You respond to your prospects and leads and clients faster, more thorough communication than busy agents. 5 times better referral potential, like the higher likelihood of generating word of mouth business. Think about that. Your time advantage translates directly into measurable business results when properly leveraged. So plant your oak tree today. The best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is today. While the top producers are maintaining their forests, you're planting the seeds that will outlast all of them. Think about that for a second. They've got an entire forest that they have planted years ago and are now, maintaining. And you can literally look across that forest and say, oh, okay, I can plant seeds that will create a much, much bigger, healthier forest than that forest. Yeah, it takes some time for the seed to, go down and germinate and the tree to grow, sure. But guess what the end result's going to be? It's going to be, I'm building something that's going to be way bigger than all of these agents. Guess what? Combined. You only get one planting season. Remember that. In your career, right? Unless you just fizzle out and go away and then come back later, whatever, which is what I did. I fizzled out. I went away. I came back and I had to restart my entire planting season. But you only get one planting season where you can tend to every single seed with undivided attention. This is your moment. Use your time advantage wisely, okay, before it disappears. All right. Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give away two signed copies of my newest book, Beyond Listings, How One Question Transforms Prospects into Lifelong Clients and Doubles Your Closing Rate. All right. So just comment right now and I'll pick 2 winners. Let's see. I'll read you the beginning of chapter 1. From broke to breakthrough. Sometimes you have to lose everything to find out what actually matters. The $1 million mistake. In my early 20s, I thought I had real estate figured out. I was making money, lots of it. Had the big house, the fancy cars, and what looked like success from the outside. But I was doing everything wrong. I was about to pay the ultimate price. I was a deal chaser. Every conversation with a prospect was about one thing. How quickly could I get them to sign on the dotted line? I measure success by transaction volume, not relationships. I treated people like walking commission checks instead of human beings with real problems to solve. It worked until it didn't. That's the very beginning of chapter 1 of my newest book. It's about the one question that transforms prospects into lifelong clients and doubles your closing rate. You can find it on Amazon. If you don't win one of these signed copies, I'm going to pick 2 winners now. And after that, I'm going to jump on Instagram Live to answer questions. So if you want to hop over to Instagram, as soon as I end this live, I will do that. Let's go with, I'm going to go with Jill Hellgreen. All right, you are a lucky winner. And then let's see. Who else wants a book? Let's see. Oh, you guys are just commenting. Okay, so let's go with Sandy. Let's see. Where you at? Oh, where'd it go? Okay, Sandy and Jill. If you guys will email me, Ricky_Carruth@yahoo.com, I will get those books in the mail to you. Everyone else, I hope this really helped you understand your true advantage in the market. Doesn't matter if you're older and you think people only want young people, or if you're young and you think people only want old people or anything in between. Whatever your disadvantage is actually your massive advantage if only you're looking at it from the right perspective. And why wouldn't you? If there's two perspectives of everything, why would you look at the perspective that doesn't serve you at the highest level? All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to switch over to Instagram to do some Q&A. I'll see you over there. Let's go.